Okay, here we go. That's what I needed. This is what I need right here. Okay, mindset training for the spiritual life coach, unit 2, session 2. Oh, and, oh no, I did not. Here we go. We're going to do that one more time. Spiritual life, no. Mindset training for the spiritual life coach, unit 2, session 2. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, and let's see, I'm going to put that discovery session in there so we can get those appointments booked. Hold on. I'm going to explain why I'm doing that in just a second, because now I understand how this works. I know you can hear me. These thoughts are online. Huh. Let's see, book a complimentary discovery session to learn how you can get into the beta testing program for a fraction of the cost. Boom. Okay. Boom, boom. Preparing to live stream. Okay, this meeting is being live streamed. Got it. All right. Hi, everybody. It's Crystal Lynn here, and we are doing mindset training for the spiritual life coach. This is, oh, and today I am going to make sure that I check on Facebook to see the lives, to see the comments as they are coming in, if you all have comments. So thank you. I am on it. All right. So look, I have an important announcement. I am going to, I'm in the process of moving or relaunching my certification program on this new website that I and Rebecca and Carla are building. And things are actually going really well with it, but I am bringing in a group of beta testers for the program. So if you are interested in becoming a spiritual life coach and you want to participate in the beta testing of this program, then please book yourself in for a discovery session as soon as possible. You save a ton of money by doing the beta testing. You get the entire program, so you're not going to be missing out on anything. It's just I'm going to need your feedback and your assistance with making sure that the program runs the way that I want it to run. Now, if you're in the mindset training program right now, you know already that I'm highly organized. You know that everything is laid out, everything is spelled out. There's a lot of information. It's good information. You know, there are workbooks and things like that. But we are creating new workbooks, and this is for the certification program, which is a much bigger, more robust program than the mindset training program, okay? And so having beta testers is going to be really important for me. And the kind of reward that I'm going to give you for helping me is that I'm going to take thousands of dollars off of the actual coaching program, okay? You're still going to need 10 months to do the program because it takes you 10 months to learn how to, you know, to be a life coach, okay? You're not going to learn how to be a life coach in 3 days or a month. And you certainly aren't going to learn how to be a life coach, build a business, build a website, build a following, build a program, write an ebook. You're not going to do that in less than 10 months, okay? It's already hard enough for us to get all that stuff done within 10 months, right? So if this is interesting to you and you want to come in as a beta tester, I need you to book yourself in for a discovery session as soon as possible. All right. And I put a link already in the live stream description. All right, so you can do that with no problem. It is there. I can't really see that it's there, so I'm assuming that it's there. Actually, if I go over here, hold on, sorry, let me just look on my own page so I can make sure. Yes, it is there. Okay, so right. So today we are in Unit 2, which is the second week of the Mindset Training Program. And today we're going to be talking about emotional badassery. And as usual, you have your workbook. And yesterday you all started with spiritual badassery. And today we are going to be doing emotional badassery. Now, I want to just take a quick moment and put things in perspective. I know that the amount of information that I give you is pretty high. So I do not expect you to have gone through spiritual badassery, and you should be starting emotional badassery right now, today, okay? So spiritual badassery was yesterday. You need probably 2 or 3 days to go through spiritual badassery. And then I'm doing emotional badassery, the live stream today, because that's the schedule I have, okay? I can only do the live stream today at this time. My schedule is Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays for these live streams because I have clients booked at every other time, okay? So you and I just want you to understand there's no pressure for you to be like, oh my God, I didn't get this done, I'm stressed out. Don't do that. It's not necessary. This program is designed for you to enjoy it, all right? And the material is really enjoyable and it's really deep. It's really helpful. I want you to think about it, okay? To kind of give yourself more perspective, try to get through all 3 of the lessons over the course of the week. So that's 7 days. All right. And if you don't finish up, don't worry about it. But I do want you to try to get it done on a weekly basis. Do your best to get through it on a weekly basis. And most importantly, this program is going to take about 5 or 6 weeks to finish. Try to get done with it no later than 8 weeks, okay? Yes, you'll probably be watching mostly replays. It's okay if you don't come on the live streams. There's the question thread where you can leave your questions, and there's a feedback thread where you can leave your feedback and things like that. So please don't stress yourself out over this. It's meant to be healing and helpful, not stressful and hard. Although it's kind of hard. Okay, I did mean it to be kind of hard because we're spiritual life coaches and we have to do hard things, okay? We have to do the hard things inside. And if we want to help other people, it means that we have to do hard things. If you want to be a medical doctor, you have to go to medical school. You have to dissect a body. You have to figure stuff out. You have to do hard things, okay? If you want anything in life, you're going to have to do hard things. But we can make them fun. And, we know that this internal work, even though it's really hard, it's also pretty fun. That's our kind of fun, okay? So, all right, I've said all that I need to say today. I want to just make sure that you all are clear on everything. And, okay, so I want to also make sure I check. Brittany's here. Okay, Brittany, hi. See, I did check. Thank you, Brittany. Okay, Brittany says, I'm feeling guilty because you're behind. I cannot wait to get relocated and refocused. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so, okay, Brittany, couple of things, all right? Number one, I can relate to wanting to get relocated. As you can see here, there'll be boxes because homegirl is relocating again. It's not really relocating because I'm just moving across town. Literally, I'm moving northwest by what will be a 10-minute drive. Okay, so it's not a big relocation, it's just a move. But the fact is, it takes time to have to pack your boxes, repack your boxes. Moving and unpacking takes at least a day. I have very little stuff, so it takes, a day for me. But if you've got a whole household or something, it can take forever. And then there's the mental thing that you have to do when you're readjusting to a new place. Anyway, all of this is to say that don't worry if you get behind in this program. But I'm going to say, darling, if you are thinking about coming into the beta program for the certification, we need to talk sooner than April 1st. So let's make a date to talk, even if so the program begins April 3rd, which is why I would want you to come in sooner than April 1st. I want to talk to you beforehand if you want to do the beta testing, okay? But anyway, we can talk about this later, but you won't have to be accountable for anything before April 3rd, okay? That much I know. But I need to have you enrolled before then so that you can grab a spot, because I have to have a limited number of spots for this. Obviously, there's only so much that I personally can manage. So let's just try to talk sooner, and then we'll get you enrolled in it, and then you can make your move, you can get settled, you can get set up, and then we can figure out the scheduling for that program. Now, so the mindset training that you're currently enrolled in, you and the other people watching this, that you can take at your leisure, okay? However, in the certification program and the beta program, it's a much more serious endeavor, because we're basically establishing you as a life coach, and we are giving you, we're building a business, right? So we're going to be building your website, building your social media following, building your email list. You're going to be building your program. You're going to be building your signature offer. You're going to be enrolling clients. You're going to be learning how to be a life coach. That is huge. And that is not something that we can go about lightly, right? It's not self-study, go at your own pace. You're in. It's like boot camp, okay? Like the Army boot camp for 10 months. It's 10 months in order to do all the work we need to do. Anyway, no problem. Don't worry about it. Okay, and Brittany's like, yes, you did notice. You saw that. Thank you for seeing me. All right, very good. Excellent. Excellent, my friend. All right, so we'll talk about that at another time. Book yourself in as soon as possible. The link is definitely there for you, okay? So for right now, we are going to go ahead and talk about the curriculum for today. And the theme for today is emotional badassery. And the theme for today is about understanding. So to be a life coach, period, just a life coach, you have to have a handle on how things function in life, okay? If you're going to be a career coach, or you're going to be a financial coach or a wealth coach, you have to know how life and financials and wealth work, right? Of course. Well, in order to be a spiritual life coach, particularly a badass butterfly spiritual life coach, you have to understand how transformation works, okay? To go from a caterpillar to a butterfly, you have to know what's happening in that process. Likewise, when a person comes to you and they are broken, they're in pain, they're suffering heartbreak, they're suffering pain, post-traumatic stress disorder from things they went through in their childhood, okay? In order to help them transform that, you have to know how that stuff gets repaired, okay? And you have to know it very deeply. So to be a life coach, you have to understand the transformation process, the healing process, and most importantly, I would say even more than spiritually, you have to understand emotions. Emotions are energy in motion. Now, my life coach told me that a decade ago, and it blew my mind. All right. I had never heard that phrase before, but it sure made sense when she said, well, Crystalline, emotions are just energy in motion. When she said that, it made me start kind of understanding that all those things I was feeling in my body were about energy, right? So we learned yesterday that being a badass butterfly spiritual life coach involves having spiritual badassery. And today we're talking about having emotional badassery, all right? When we talk on Thursday, we're going to talk about having material badassery. That's being in the three-dimensional world, okay? Today, we're on emotions, right? So what does it mean to have emotional badassery, and why is this important for you as a spiritual life coach in training? Well, um, you have to have authority in order to be a life coach. Now, right now, you are watching me in a training, and I'm talking to you about something, and you have a certain feeling about me. And you are sitting in a place where you are discerning whether or not I am full of shit, okay? If I said some things and they did not resonate with you, you would be like, she's full of shit. I'm going to turn that off, okay? But if you're watching this, you probably recognize that I have some understanding of what I'm talking about. And most likely, as you're doing this, you're not analyzing like, why is it that I am watching this? Why is it that I'm believing what she says? You're not really doing that. It's happening on a subconscious level. What I'm saying is speaking to what you understand to be true. And it's maybe speaking to your heart, it's speaking to your experience, it's speaking to what you think already for yourself. So all of those things taken together are giving me an air of authority. It seems like I know what I'm talking about. It seems like maybe I've read a book and maybe I've put together some philosophies and maybe I've done something because I sound like I kind of know what I'm talking about, okay? This is essential as a life coach. I would almost say that your ability to give off a sense of authority is 90% of your battle as a life coach. When you are not rooted in really good principles of coaching, you will not look like an authority, okay? Your authority as a life coach is going to come from the things you've gone through in your past and whether or not you've actually healed them. So this is what we're going to be talking about in today's session. Today's session is trying to get you to understand that you must have authority as a coach and healer in order for people to trust you and to want to listen to you, and most importantly, to want to do what you tell them to do, right? So I've put together this program, this Badass Butterfly training program, and you're in it, you're listening to the videos, you're doing the workbook, you're reading the articles, you're doing the exercises, and you're getting something from it. And the more you get from it, the more you feel like you can trust me, because what I'm giving you is helping you improve your life. Now, I know that I'm saying this in a very pedantic way, but the reason I'm saying it this way is because I need you to understand that right now, you may not have authority like I have. However, You can build this authority. You can learn how to, well, you don't really learn how to have authority. What you learn is your subject. And then the more you dive into your subject, the more you love your subject, the more you nurture your own knowledge around your subject, the more authority comes from you naturally. I hope that makes sense. Is anybody here listening to me? Am I talking to myself? Is anybody here? Brittany, are you still with me? Brittany, did you just laugh? Okay. I am not alone. Very good. Thank you so much. You're here. Thank you so much. So the point though that I'm really wanting to make is that your authority is really, really, really like the most important thing that you can have in your as a life coach. So in the next few weeks of this program, we're going to be talking in depth about where that authority actually comes from, okay? But for today, I want you just to kind of explore the basics of where it comes from. Your authority for today, I want you to understand that your authority comes from your experience with emotional pain, okay? So I want you to get your head around this. If I were a psychiatrist, all right, that means I would have gone to medical school. I'd become a medical doctor first, and then I would go on to specialize, and then I'd go into psychiatric medicine, and then I'd be a psychiatrist, all right? My authority on my very first day of work, I would have the full authority of the state that I'm practicing in because I'd have a license. I'd have the full authority from my school, my teachers, because I will have gotten my degree. I will have done my residency, so I will have had the full authority of the mentors and the people who have overseen my experience, right? A lot of authority behind me saying, hey, you did well, you can go forward and now practice psychiatric medicine on the public, all right? So my authority as a psychiatrist comes from all the work I did, all the work, all those books I read, all those bodies I had to dissect, all the cases I had to study, all the things I had to do to learn, to educate myself. That's where my authority comes from. And then it's backed by all of my education, the peers, the state, all those things, okay? All the tests that I had to take in order to be approved to do this thing. Well, as a spiritual life coach, you don't get all those things. You don't need all those things because we're not doing psychiatric medicine. We're doing life coaching. It's a lot lighter, although it's not a lot lighter. As you know, when we do spiritual life coaching, we're going really deep. We're going deep into a person's trauma, and we are down in their stuff with them in a very, very deep, personal, intimate way, okay? And so even though you don't have an education of formalized medicine and formalized psychiatry, what you do have is also very, very powerful. And I need you to understand this, because if you don't understand this, you will sell yourself short and you will not be successful with this work, okay? If you do understand it, you're going to thrive. So your authority as a life coach comes from the pain you've experienced, the trauma you've experienced in your past. That's why I'm pointing behind me. I'm not hitchhiking right now, right? I'm not hitchhiking. I'm pointing behind me to the past experiences. What happened to you as a child? what happened to you as an adult, what happened to you as a teenager, all those experiences. And the hurts, and I'm going to just be honest with you, the painful experiences, the emotional pain, the physical trauma, the physical abuse, the degradation that you have gone through and dealt with are going to give you authority as a spiritual life coach. Okay, so the trauma and the negative experiences that you have not dealt with are not going to give you authority. Okay, you do not have to be perfectly healed in order to be a life coach, but you do have to be working on yourself. You have to be exploring yourself. You have to be growing yourself, expanding yourself. And if you are in denial of your painful experiences, if you are in denial of what you've gone through in your past, you are not going to have a lot of success as a spiritual life coach that helps others, because you don't have anything to draw upon as you are helping people. You can get a lot of knowledge from books. I encourage you to read books, and I do love books, okay? But books should be a supplement and a complement to your own experience and what you are creating from your own story. So that is where your emotional badassery is going to come from. And I'm going to check in and see if, let's see. Okay, hold on. Thank you, Brittany, for, thank you, Brittany, for the comments. I'm having a little bit of a hard time though getting the, hold on. Okay, now I can see them. I wasn't able to see them before. Okay, here we go. Brittany says, I've been contemplating where I want to focus. Exactly. The law degree does nothing for me. Do you see what I'm saying? If anything, it repels them. Absolutely. Yeah, look, this is exactly what I'm talking about. And this is the wonderful thing about being a spiritual life coach. It's that you get to create your life, your business, in a way that resonates with your soul, your harmony, like harmonizes with your being, right? So even though I'm going to give you a certification to be a badass butterfly spiritual life coach, that doesn't mean you have to do it my way. It just means that you were certified in the badass butterfly tradition. You can go out and become the the herbal gardener spiritual life coaching person. I'm sorry, I'm looking at, so sorry. My eye got caught by this mint thing that I created. I did an essential oil blend and I called it grounding mint, and my eye just got focused on it. I'm like, I need to smell that. And so forgive me for dancing around here. Sorry, and someone is coming in. Hi, it's nice to see you. I'm glad that you have joined. Ms. Jazz has joined us. Thank you, darling. It's good to see you. I was wondering when I was going to see you again. Anyway, so just because this smells very good, by the way, if you want my recipe, let me know. But it's mint with rosemary. Oh my God. And it is really, really awakening and grounding. I love essential oils. Love it. Do you see how I got all off track? Now let me get back on track. Okay. So, right. So I was talking about your authority. I was talking about emotions, and I'm sorry, Apollo is barking up a storm outside. Let me just stop him because that's obnoxious. Boo boo. Stop. Come on, bud. He's coming in. Come on in, sweetie. Okay, go to bed. Good boy. Go to bed, boo-boo. Go on, go to bed. Good. Nope, not mama's bed. Go to your bed. Good boy. Okay. Go to bed, boo-boo. Go to bed. All right, sorry about that. So the thing that's important is that you understand that your emotional badassery, your ability to deal with your own trauma and your ability ultimately to help other people deal with their trauma, that's where your authority is going to come from. I am really, 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 really good at dealing with the dark parts of life. I have a system that is very, very well equipped for looking at dark emotional and energetic things and not getting sucked into them. I have watched new coaches, people who want to do this work, get confronted with things that they just did not they just did not expect to confront. And I've seen people walk away, just walk away because it was too overwhelming. So you have to understand that as a spiritual life coach, especially if you are studying with me, if you're coming through this badass butterfly tradition, you are coming through a tradition that is meant to help the dark transmute into light. So the things that I'll be teaching you, you see from the mindset training, the very first thing I did was say, you're a caterpillar. What's going on inside of you, right? And what we're asking you to do in all these weeks is to kind of look at what's going on with your shadow. Why? So that we can cast light on it. Why? So that we can transmute it into something beautiful. That's the whole idea of being a caterpillar and going through the darkness of the metamorphosis and then coming out a butterfly, someone who has transformed and someone who is now helping others to do the same, okay? Very good. And so Shauna says, hey, I'm here too. Having a hard time, but getting there. Yes, great. And I'm so glad, Shauna, I'm so glad that you've joined too. Your spirit is everything for me. Thank you so much, Brittany. I choose you. Thank you for choosing me. Oh, that's so nice. Look, this morning when I was doing my live stream in the group, I literally was like, I started crying on the inside because I'm like, the people in this group, I love the people in my group. It's just, there's so much love. That's what I was feeling inside. And I got teary and I'm just like, oh my God, do not break down on this call. That's not what this is about, okay? Anyway, thank you all so much for being here. So let me get you all onto your home fun. Let me get into the curriculum so that I can make sure that I'm covering everything that I need to cover. And I'm going to share my screen here. And I need Zoom and then share screen. Boom. We're going to share this one. Okay, and I am assuming that you can see this. I have the green box around it. All right, so this is our module for today, our lesson for today, session 2, emotional badassery. I love how she's sitting there so peaceful. She's like, oh, I just did 2 hours of shadow work and I just kicked Shadow's ass. That's how I felt this morning. I got up, I did some shadow work and I was like, whoa, I am ready for this day, God. Let's go do this day. I was in tears. That's actually funny because I started off, I woke up and I'm like, oh yeah, God, I got this, I got this. And then I asked a question and I got an answer. I'm like, oh, you just called me out on some of my bullshit. So I had to go do shadow work, okay? And then I did the shadow work. I'll tell you what, you all will relate to this. I did the shadow work and I used my tarot cards to help me. I used 3 different decks of cards, 3 different decks of cards. I got the 3 of Swords, one right after the other. When they gave me the first 2, I said, ha ha ha, you have a sense of humor. You've got to be kidding me. You don't really mean that I'm still suffering from this shadow. And then I pulled another card so that they could confirm that I was, confirm that they were joking, that, oh, we're just joking. You're not suffering from this. I pulled the 3rd card, which was again the 3 of Swords. And I started bawling. I just right there, it was as if somebody just hit me over the head. I literally just burst out with tears, and I was just full bawling, like, you got, blah, blah, blah. But the process was so cleansing, and I learned so much. I had such a big breakthrough. And you all know the full moon is Thursday, right? Or something like that, Friday. It's the 18th, so that's Friday. So the full moon energy is already asking us to kind of go forward and start healing stuff. So I've already started the journey, y'all. I'm already on the journey. And so I did that, had that big cry, and then I felt amazing. I felt so clear and so appreciative of what I was revealed. And I really think I kicked that shadow to the curb. I think I overcame that thing, y'all. So we'll see how, we'll let time go by and see if I really did heal myself. But I think I'm cured. We'll see. All right. So for today, boom, 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 there's the lesson summary that you can read through. Now, for your home fun, I did give you a trigger alert, okay? Trigger alert, there's a video that you may not like down below. I like it, okay? I'm a big fan of Quentin Tarantino. It's a way for me to let my own internal aggression out. I have Mars and Aries, and so I love Quentin Tarantino. More than anything, I love Grindhouse Death Proof. That's my favorite Tarantino flick. And so I put a scene in there from that that you can watch or not. I intentionally did not put any home fun questions around that. I just put the video link in there because there are 3 women in there and they are really, really badass. And I thought, okay, let's just do some very straightforward, badass stuff. So I went ahead and put that in there. So if you don't like violence, don't watch it because it is violent. But if you don't mind it and you kind of like just seeing some fun stuff and great stunts, Zoe Bell, she's an amazing stunts woman, and she's just strong. She's physically strong. She's emotionally strong. She's spiritually strong. She's just strong. Like, she's just strong. So she's a great person to have here in our work for today. All right. So aside from that, you have your workbook, of course, which is which I don't think I could, well, actually, yes, I could. No, I couldn't. I couldn't share it with you because I did not share that screen, but you know what your workbook looks like, okay? In the workbook is an article titled, Are You an Emotional Badass? That's in the second section of the book. And so I need you to read the article. And then what I've done is I've added some questions here for you so that you can answer those, read the article and then answer the questions. And these questions, they're not about like what I wrote in the article, but they're about some of the things that the article is talking about. And I want you to look at yourself and see how you see what it brings up in you, okay? All right, boom, those questions, just to give you a quick overview. I want you to tell me about, or tell me, you're going to tell yourself, you're going to write out, okay? What are 3 painful experiences or traumas that you have gone through? All right, so write them out in detail. Again, we're talking about, these can be physical traumas, physical abuse that you've gone through, but we know that the problem with physical trauma is not the physical trauma. Sure, the physical trauma hurts your physical body, but that's not the issue. It's the energetic trauma, the emotional trauma. That's the thing that hurts you. That's the thing that you carry around for decades after your, after the physical abuse has stopped. And so I want you to write about the painful experiences or the traumas. And, you can talk about them in physical terms, but you really need to jump into what's going on emotionally or energetically, okay? I have the next question. How did you think about those traumas back then? How did you deal with them back then? What was your attitude about them? What was your attitude about yourself back when you were in those physical traumas, okay? This is really important. I need you to not spiritually bypass here, okay? Don't be like, oh, I got over it. Oh, I just raised my chin and walked away with my head held high. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. In those traumas, you suffered, okay? Don't gloss over your experience from the past just because it's too painful. The whole reason you're in this program right now is because you need to look at that pain and do something to deal with it. All right. If you need help dealing with the pain, you can come into our Facebook group and you can talk about it there. I'll help you out. You can also get some personal coaching with me. I'm a personal coach. Keep that in mind. All right. But the key is to not gloss over things and act like that didn't affect me, unless it didn't. Okay. But if you're bringing it up as a trauma or it's coming through for you in this moment, it obviously is. Your subconscious mind is probably more aware of what's going on than your conscious mind. All right. All right. Boom. So how have you grown or changed your attitude or perception? So now's the time to start talking about how you've grown since those original traumas. Okay. What did you change? What did you do to change? Did I write that? What did you do to change your attitude or perception? So not only what changed, but how did you change that? Okay. And this is really important as a spiritual life coach, because as a spiritual life coach, how you changed something is a part of a process. And spiritual life coaches give people processes. That's our job. We give people processes and things that they can do to help themselves. Like you changed your perception. How did you do that? Well, that's what you're going to teach people as a spiritual life coach. Okay. All right. So what did you do? How did you grow? How did you heal? It's important that you write down your processes. And it's important, not just in today's session, but it's important that you start doing that as a part of your regular practice. Look at yourself and see what it is you're doing to heal, improve, and correct your life, correct your mindset, heal your emotions, etc., etc. I'm popping over here on Facebook to make sure, okay, that I'm getting the comments this time. All right, cool. If you all have any questions, I'm actually aware. All right. And Ms. Jazz, if you have questions too, you should type them in the chat if you have questions as we go. Wait, let me fix my face, because you see, I don't know if you can see my screen, but right now, this screen, I am looking so freaking weird right now. It is not okay. All right, let me figure out how to move this, because it is not letting me move that. Okay, wait, this is a better spot. Nope, this is not it. Here it is. Boom, up here. Oh no, wait, hold on. Wait 1 second, you all, I'm having a moment, because I just went and looked at my Facebook image and it was frozen with my eyes like this. And I'm like, that is not pretty. I do not want to look at myself like that. So we're going to just having a different experience. Okay, boom, I fixed it. Okay, great. Now I want to make sure Gloria's here. Hi, Gloria. Okay. Brittany says, I struggle. Uh-oh, hold on. That's why I do this, because Facebook does not allow me to see enough of the comments. That's why I go here. All right. That's why I do this, because Facebook does not allow and me you see that to see enough of the comments. That's why I go here. Oh, wait, now I've got a thing going on. Hold on. Wait, there we go. At least I can turn it down, if not. Oh, there it is. There's the pause. There we go. Sorry, now I can see the comments over here. Brittany says, I pulled the Lovers, Magician, and Empress for this live. What? You got the Lovers, the Magician, and the Empress? Oh, I love that. Triple love. Oh my gosh. Okay, and Brittany says, and Shauna says, 100%. I struggle with how long it took to learn some of the recurring lessons. Yeah, this is an issue. This is an issue. But here's the thing. I think that Spirit is inviting us to not worry so much about how long it takes, but to document the process as we go. Especially, like, one of the things I've noticed as a spiritual life coach is that once I document my process, boy, I don't know, there's just something about being able to teach people the process of how to transform. Wow, it's just mind blowing. Like I feel my gut is really warming up right now. Like I just got like a hot flash inside. It's really, really beautiful. And so this is such powerful, powerful medicine. So even if you're going through some things, you know, multiple times, you're not getting the lesson, you're still getting other lessons and you're still growing. Like there are some tough ones, like the one I had today. Spirit has been talking about to me about this for decades. It's just, I'm peeling back the layers, one layer at a time. It's like an onion, one layer at a time, and I'm getting there. I think I got to a deep layer this morning now. So anyway, let me get you all off this call so you can move on with your day. Um, how have you grown or changed? What did you change? And then, right, okay. So now the next question is, when you are feeling emotionally challenged now, what do you do about it? So this is another opportunity for you to be accountable to yourself, because a lot of times people, the answer to this is, when I'm feeling emotionally challenged, I shove it down, I stuff it down, I go into denial. When I feel fear, I stuff down that fear. I don't want to acknowledge that fear. When I feel anxious, I stuff down that anxiety with food. You know, when I feel stressed out, I go escape with, you know, a glass of wine or whatever. I escape. So this is an opportunity for you to kind of call yourself out and to account for how you are dealing with your emotions currently. And especially right now, as you are an evolved being, you are evolved more than you were 5 years ago. You've evolved, okay? Sure, you're going to evolve more, but you're still further along than where you were 5 years ago. And you should be taking better care of yourself, right? This is an opportunity for you to see if you are or if you're not, all right? Think back over the last couple of years. Okay, this is the next question. Were there some times when you did not hold space very well for yourself? If so, what were the circumstances? And that's pretty self-explanatory. I want you to think back, and I want you to notice where you didn't hold space for yourself, where you sold yourself out, maybe even where you cut yourself off from something that was happening. Maybe you checked out, okay? Maybe you abandoned yourself. These are really important things that you need to acknowledge, and these things are going to come back to haunt you if they're not already, okay? Yeah, okay. We got 2 more questions. This next one is, how would you summarize your spiritual philosophy as it relates to emotions? All right. And I give you an example in here. And this idea of spiritual philosophy is written about in the article that you're going to be reading. The thing that I want you to understand is that as a spiritual life coach, you need a spiritual philosophy, and that spiritual philosophy needs to be articulated clearly, concisely, and fully. Actually, I shouldn't say concisely, it needs to be fully articulated. And this is why people write books, okay? Now, am I saying that you need to write a book? Yeah, sure. I'm saying that you need to write a book. I'm not afraid to tell you to write a book, okay? Do you need to write a book today? No, you don't have to write a book today. Um, do you need to write an ebook? Yeah, you need to write an ebook sooner rather than later, okay? If you're in my certification program, you're going to write an ebook. I have my students writing an ebook, and they don't even know they're writing an ebook. I just help them, just constantly tell them, write, 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 write. Then I give them a framework. And then all that practice writing that they've been doing, I have them write it around their framework. By the time they're finished writing for that framework, they have a book. And it's a powerful way to get a book written, because you don't feel like you're writing a book, but because you're using a framework and you have to think through the framework, that book writes itself. And so everybody that's coming through the program, they go in the program, they're like, write a book? I couldn't write a book. And I'm like, at the end of the program, what is that in your hand? What's that? Not in your hand. What's that on your web page? It's a book, Crystal. I wrote a book. Like, I know. Isn't that cool? Yeah, it's cool. We love that though, because it's coming organically. It's coming naturally because you're just doing the work that comes from your soul. And all the work is based on what you went through in the past. Okay. So this question is just to get you to start thinking about what your spiritual philosophy is. Okay. So, I give you an example there. You'll figure that out. It makes perfectly good sense. I think it's actually written fine enough. You got it. If you have questions, let me know if you have questions about your spiritual philosophy, okay? The last question is, so like, what kind of street cred do you have as a healer and spiritual life coach right now, right? And again, in the article for today, I talk about your street credibility, right? Like your clout, like this is another, we're talking about authority here. So what have you healed? What have you done either for yourself or other people, right? So this is where I just want you to write down what you've accomplished and what gives you authority as a coach and a healer today. This is a little bit of a celebration of what you've gone through. You don't have to have coached other people. If you've taken yourself through your own healing journey, that is what you should be writing down here. If you've taken other people through a healing journey, then you should write that down here as well, okay? But just don't stress out and don't freak out if you don't have anything like I've not healed other people. That's okay. Don't worry about that. All right, cool. So that is your home fun. There's your video. That's home fun for this week. Next time we're going to be meeting is on Thursday. Oh, why? Next time we're going to be meeting is on Thursday at the same time. Okay. Boom. Now, Shauna says, I've been journaling a lot lately, making lots of shifts in my day-to-day routine. Excellent. That's gonna get you there. Yes. And then she says, I started writing a book. Excellent, Shauna. Hey, congratulations. Look, you're a better woman than I am because you started writing the book. I never started. Well, I did start writing the book, but I never finished it. But the thing that, but I have written, but the thing is, so when I set out to write a book, I couldn't do it, all right? Which is why I set up the program in the way that it did, because I'm like, if I can't do it, I can't ask other people to do it. So what I did though, was to do exactly what I told you. I set up a framework, I did a bunch of writing, set up a framework, then all of a sudden, I just wrote everything for my framework, and then I had a book. So I actually have, I think maybe 8 ebooks right now, and we're working on 2 more at this moment. Because when you do it this way, you find that you are actually a book writing machine, but you got to give yourself a chance to start. Oh my God, come here. Come here and say hi to our friends. Say hi, friends. Come up. Put your paws up here. Come on. Do you see his tail? All you can see is his tail wagging. And then he turns his back. He turns his back and he wants me just to rub his back. Okay, that's my boy. Anyway, so that's it as far as I'm concerned. Let me see, I already checked the questions thread. There aren't any questions on the questions thread. I'm gonna just check in, and if you all have any questions on Facebook, make sure you write them in, okay? I'm gonna check in with Ms. Jazz and see if you have any questions for today or any comments. There's my boo-boo.
Hi. Hello, everybody. I'm on lunch, so I was sitting here eating my lunch. No, I don't have any questions yet.
Okay, good.
Yeah, maybe, because my name is Yvette. You know what? Miss Jazz comes automatically because all my Facebook stuff, I use Miss Jazz. How do I change that? Because that's not who I am. That's just
your Zoom name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, not my Zoom name. That's just my other personality or something. But it's not me. Okay. So I really want to change the name to Yvette. So how would I do that?
That is a mystery to me. That is a mystery to me, but I know that you can do a Google search for how to change my Zoom name. Okay. If you do that, and it will take you directly and teach you how to do that. Sorry, I don't have that answer.
That's fine.
Sometimes the technology stuff though, look, sometimes I
I
gotta
know.
ask my, that's why my virtual assistants are on that stuff for me. Yes,
Okay.
very good. So how are you doing in the program? Are you able to make it through the modules okay?
I lost everything and
Oh
I
yeah,
had
you
to
wrote.
do it. Yes, I had to do it all over. I was so sick. Procrastination.
Yeah, okay. Look, so I'm assuming that you did your work in the browser, like you opened up the workbook and you did not download the workbook. You opened it up and you just worked on it in your internet browser, is that correct?
Yeah, but I downloaded it too. I just didn't realize where I was, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
Sometimes, like you, this stuff gets me. I'm a little old. I did not have all this stuff in high school.
I know. Look, that's okay. We didn't need it in high school. We got it
We
now,
sure
and
didn't.
we are not too old to learn. Okay.
But I struggled there, yeah, but I just did it over last
Okay.
night. So
Good. Well, I'm glad you did. Thank you for doing that. And I'm glad that you are making your way through the work. Okay. And,
yes.
you know, I know that even some of our younger students are also struggling with the technology. Like we don't know. So look, we're doing what we can. All right.
Well, we
Spirit is
can.
guiding us and we are learning. I read this book called Mindset, and it's by is her name, I think her name is Carolyn Dweck. Anyway, she wrote this book called Mindset. And in the book, she basically said you have a fixed mindset, or you have a limit, or you have a growth mindset. And the fixed mindset is someone who's like, they might say, I am old and I cannot learn, which is not what you said, right? You said,
Oh,
I'm
no.
old and I am learning, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's they're totally different mindsets that end up with totally different results and a totally different life experience. I'm old, I cannot learn anything more, which is what old people used to say, right? But they've learned, like
Right.
we've learned, okay? But they ended up with a mindset that in a life experience, it's very limited. Whereas, especially if you're going to be a life coach, you have to build a business, you have to write a book, you have to build a website, you have to build a Facebook following. You don't, you're not going to just get a download of, oh, I know exactly how to do that. You're going to have to learn in practical ways how to do all those things. And that requires a growth mindset. So, if you come into the certification program, you are going to, the first thing we work on is mindset. And the thing that I'm trying to get you to do during that period is to just start opening your mind and to not work on trying to be perfect. Yes, you do need to get your work done, but done is better than perfect, right? So getting that kind of growth mindset and allowing yourself just to kind of do things and to do the best you can, and we're going to figure out how to make it as good as we can, but just doing the best and getting things done is what we need to move forward, right?
Yes.
All right, so very good. So if you've got no questions, Yvette,
No.
no problem. So I look forward to seeing you. We're meeting again on Thursday, and it's going to be at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the ladies here on Facebook, I should wait. Let me just refresh, because I also learned that if I don't refresh, I miss things. Okay, but it looks like I'm good. So all right, everyone, we can go ahead and sign off for the day. Thanks so much for joining me.
Okay.
We'll see you all next week, on Thursday, okay, for the third session,
Okay.
Material
Thursday.
Badassery. All right.
All right.
All right. Thanks,
Have a good
Yvette.
day.
Yeah,
You're
yeah, you
welcome.
too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye,
Bye-bye.
everybody. Bye.